After discussing Halloweentown as a purgatory for monsters in my last Nightmare Before Christmas video, I want to talk about the inhabitants of Halloweentown and why they were sent there or possibly went there of their own accord. Halloweentown is clearly not established for the good guys. It's for the ghosts and ghouls and outright monsters. At one time in this universe, I believe all these creatures were alive and running amok among humans, but once they died, Halloweentown is where they ended up, and their bodies continued to twist and mutate based on their personalities and preferences. So this guy with the rat could have looked that way in life, or he could have shaped himself over time to look that way in his afterlife. Looking over characters, we don't get a lot of clues for how they died. Pause for a second. Let me state up front that Sally doesn't count for this theory because she was made in Halloweentown. We have no way to know if she even had a previous life, but that's something I plan to explore down the road. Anyways, we have Behemoth, who may have been an axe murderer that sort of died by his own sword kind of thing. The corrupt, two-faced politician may have broken his neck in real life. These weird, unsettling creatures look like the hills have eyes to me. I'm just gonna say it, they probably ate people in their real life. Lock, Shock, and Barrel are so malicious that I think they were siblings and their own mother drowned them in a bathtub as an attempt to stop their evil ways. I mean, these kids sent Santa Claus to die and we're laughing about it. Who knows if they even took the Easter Bunny back home? But being drowned in their own bathtub would explain why they have this enchanted tub that serves as their vehicle, because a bathtub was their vehicle that sent them to purgatory. But Jack Skellington was so humanoid in his figure that he's a little harder to figure out. Lucky for us, I'm crazy and can spin anything! So the first detail I'd like to point out is that Jack doesn't have a lot of defining items that he carries around. He's got the fantastic pinstripe suit, but that doesn't tell us much, other than he may have been a high society type in the 1800s. If we look in Jack's house though, he has a very interesting chair. It's actually an electric chair, which is a macabre thing to own, but it's really the only clue that we have as to how Jack may have died, and why he ended up being dubbed the Pumpkin King, which is essentially being the ruler of all monsters. I mean, they all jump on board with Christmas just because he says so. The monsters weren't really into it, so if that isn't some kingly authority, I don't know what is. Now, electric chairs first appeared in the 1890s, which fits the time frame of Jack's attire. But what could he have done that was so awful in life that he was sent to live with all of these nightmare creatures? The movie doesn't play him up as a mean guy, but Jack certainly has a short temper, and we watch him murder Oogie Boogie. That's not to say Oogie was a character worth redeeming, but usually the hero has to take the high road, and Jack is certainly no hero or even an anti-hero. This dude stole Christmas just because he liked it, traumatized and potentially killed a lot of people with his gifts, and almost got Santa Claus murdered. Truly, Jack is a mild-mannered villain that only saves Santa and Sally because he's angry at Oogie Boogie's defiance. Jack is more like this wonderful family man who secretly beats his family behind closed doors. He's more two-faced than the mayor, and even in some of the songs, he seems to be talking to himself as if he had a personality disorder. And the more I thought about how Jack behaved, the more the name Jack stood out to me. Out of all the names in the universe, why pick that one for this character? The demeanor, the suit, the electric chair, the top dog title in a town full of dangerous monsters, and he's known throughout England and France. Holy guacamole, Jack Skellington used to be Jack the Ripper. While the identity of Jack the Ripper has never been proven, and so his exact actions can never be known, Jack the Ripper was obviously in England for multiple murders in 1888, and some historians suspect that he took off to Paris in 1889 to evade the police. England and France. So there you have it. Jack Skellington is not a sweet, tortured soul that's trying to make sense of his repetitive life. He's a tyrant mass murderer who was eventually caught for a subsequent crime, fried up in an electric chair, and awoke from his grave to take over Halloweentown as the #1 monster in that world. Yeah, I might be overthinking it, but that's literally my job. Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. I get a lot of comments that say, do a theory on this topic, but I've already done those theories. So please consider going to my main channel page and clicking on the video tab so that way you can see everything I've done done. You will probably find a lot of things you like that you never even knew that I posted. I want to let you know that I also have 2 other channels, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming and the Fanily Family Vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to hit subscribe and share. I can use all the help I can get to let other people know that this channel exists. And if you made it this far, leave me a comment that says something like, "Hey, I made it to the end," and then let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I can't make any promises, but the more people that request something, the more I can look into it. Okay, well, I love you. I'll see you in the next video.